Hi, thanks for watching the replay. I'm Sammy with Down Redbud Drive, and today we are going to be making napkin pumpkins. So napkin pumpkins are actually a really easy way to make some DIY fall decor, and a super easy, cheap way to do that too. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this. If you've been anywhere on my blog before, you've seen that I've made napkin ornaments that are incredibly easy, that don't look at all like you use the napkin. So today we're going to be using these cute napkins that I got just at Hobby Lobby last year on clearance. I also found these cute ones at the dollar store that I use to make this pumpkin. So we're just going to use, these are just regular paper napkins, and we're going to use them to make some super cute fall decor. I'm just going to get into it. If you don't want to watch the live video, and because I talk and I'll give like details and give room for explanations of simple things just in case you guys aren't aware or haven't ever done a project like this before, you can click the link in the description and it will take you right to the post that has the tutorial with all the step-by-step pictures, etc. And then if you have questions, you can just comment below and I'll try to get those. Okay, so these pumpkins is what it's going to turn out when you get done. All you're going to need is a paper napkin, a foam paintbrush, Mod Podge. I used the matte version. You could use gloss if you wanted a glossy look. I didn't want my pumpkin to look glossy, so I used the matte version. Also, it's what I had. And scissors, just to make it a little bit easier. So you have napkins, a fake pumpkin. I got mine from Walmart, okay? They're like $6, but you can get them other places if you wanted. I just liked these because they were decently high quality and I wasn't gonna have to do anything for it. So here's pumpkin, foam paintbrush, napkins. I found these, they're super cute. They've got scripture on them. They say, "Give thanks in all you do." 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Found those at Hobby Lobby. You can find them anywhere. I heard Tuesday Morning has some really cute ones. So here's what it looks like when you're done, okay? There's this one using the Hobby Lobby napkin, okay? And then here is the one using the dollar store napkin. You cannot tell the difference in the quality based on how much you spent on your napkin, okay? So like it doesn't matter. My Hobby Lobby ones were actually cheaper than my dollar store ones because I bought them when they were like 80% off after Thanksgiving or right before Thanksgiving last year. And then I forgot to take them to our Thanksgiving get together. So I had a whole bunch of them downstairs and I was like, ooh, these will be cute. And they worked out perfect. So ideally, what you're going to want to do is find a napkin that has a design on it that will fit on your pumpkin. So like, this was the size of pumpkin I was going to use, and so I bought this one on there. So this was the size that I got. Ideally, you don't really want there to be a full design that goes all the way around the outside. Since this was like a cream color napkin, straight cream color napkin, I picked a cream color pumpkin, and so that way your edges are really going to blend in well and you're not going to be able to tell that it's something that's just stuck on there. Does that make sense? So we're going to do that. So what you're going to want to do is get something that has the design. You don't want it to go all the way to the edge. If it's like a plaid design or a color or whatever, it'll still look okay, but it's going to look more like you put a like piece of paper on the pumpkin as opposed to just a design that is on there. So okay, so the next thing that you need to do is separate the corners of your napkin, okay? When you separate the corners of your napkin, there will be multiple layers and you can just peel them off. This back layer comes off real easy. With the dollar store napkins, there was only one layer that I could pull off. With the Hobby Lobby napkins, I could kind of rub the corners a little bit in between my fingers and get another layer off. I'm gonna try and get close so you guys can see this. Just stick like your fingernail in between there and then carefully just peel them apart. Can you see that? You want to make the design, the paper with the design on it, as thin as possible. This will be best, dropped my paintbrush. This will be best for putting it on there. Okay. So now after you have that done, I have now 4 designs, so I can make 4 different pumpkins. I'm not going to, I'm just going to make one. And you're going to use your scissors. I did this just for ease of design, and I'm gonna cut one of the squares out that I'm gonna use to put on this pumpkin. Okay, so just cut along the edges. When you're doing any kind of Mod Podge project, here's a little tip. is that you need to tear the edges before putting it on there. Like with when we did our napkin ornament, we would cut the edges that was the excess, and then we would use our thumb to kind of tear around the wood on the outside, and that gives it a more natural look. Otherwise, you're gonna see that really sharp edge from where you cut it, and it's not gonna look that great. So anyway, oh, did I already cut one out? I don't remember doing that. No, I did not. Guys, I have the attention span of a goldfish. You should know that before watching any of my videos. I really can't focus on anything at all, ever. Okay, so I cut out my square. Okay, so that's what it looks like now. Okay, so look, very similar, same design. That's just exactly what it looks like. Okay, for some reason the orange gets this really gorgeous dark color whenever you put it on here, and I'm not mad about it. Okay, so now you get to have the arduous task of going around the edge and you're just gonna get as close to your design as you can without tearing your design. So like stay on the outside of it, but you want to tear it, and that's what your edges are gonna look like. See how it's like kind of ugly and broken? It doesn't matter, you just don't want it to be straight. Because if we leave it like this, and we go to put it on, you're gonna see the square of that design, and then it's not gonna look as cool. So just go around the outside, just with your thumb and your forefinger. Take your time. This doesn't take very long. I have zero patience, so doing something like this is like, oh my gosh, and I wanna rush it, and then I end up ruining it. So with this particular design, the only part that was hard for me to get around was like, there's a leaf that's like right at the top, and I had to like go around it. Okay, I think I'm actually done. Okay, that's what it looks like. See? Just ugly, ugly edges, but it's very, very thin, and those edges are going to, when you wet them down with the Mod Podge here in just a second, they're going to blend right into your pumpkin, and you'll never see them. There's actually one little torn spot right there I wanted to tear off. Okay, so set this aside. Now I've got to do the next part. Scoot away all my 1,000 pieces of napkin. Okay, so now you take your pumpkin. This is just you can see, a $6 pumpkin from Walmart. You can get them from Hobby Lobby. Some people's dollar stores are really cool and have them, or Dollar General or whatever. You may want to be like extra and wipe this off first if you're concerned. I'm not extra in this area, so I'm not going to wipe it off because ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm not going to clean this off. I am just going to get my Mod Podge, it's such a weird word to say. I just use the matte kind. Just Mod Podge, like it's real cheap. If you go to the link in the description, I've got a list of all the supplies that I used in there, as well as some links to some super cute Thanksgiving napkins, like and fall themed napkins that I found that would work great for this on Amazon. So you don't have to go anywhere if you don't want to, because when you shop on Amazon, you don't have to wear pants. Anyway, so this is just Mod Podge that I had just sitting around, and I'm just going to use a foam brush because, again, it's what I had. I basically have a Hobby Lobby in my basement, and I have access to a bunch of things. The only thing I will say, when you go to start painting this, I'm weird, and for some reason the direction of the stem was important to me. So put the direction of the stem whichever way you want it whenever your design is going to be on there. So I'm going to put it this way because I want my stem to face that way when it's done. So I'm just going to dip my foam brush way in there. I mean, you're just going to cover it up real good, and then I'm just going to liberally paint on, can you see? Like I'm just painting it on the general area where this is going to go. Get it in the grooves. Like that's super important. It's not really a big deal if you put too much on. Oh no, my poor husband cleaned this off before we started. Gonna have to clean it again. Anyway, put it on the general area, so whatever size your design is that you're using, that you just tore out, you can just put it bigger than that. So that way you want to make sure that all the little edges are going to be pressed down whenever you put them on there in just a couple of seconds. There is no transfer process that happens. You're not gonna have to take the paper back off for this project like some Mod Podge things say. You're just gonna have to put it on there and do it careful so that you don't get a bunch of bubbles and wrinkles. So get it all in the grooves. Make sure that you've done that before we start the next project. That's what it looks like. This stuff dries clear. It doesn't dry super fast, but it does dry decently fast. So I'm not gonna just like sit it there and then go cook dinner. Not like I've done that in the middle of making a craft, just left. Okay, I'm gonna try and turn this so that you guys can see it, but I also don't want to screw it up. So here's this, and I'm just going to gently, I'm gonna waller myself around over here. Okay, you're just going to lay it on here real gentle. See how it's just barely touching and it's stuck? See how it just stuck there? Okay, so now I'm going to just take my thumbs and gently press it into those grooves. You don't want to tear your napkin here. So, this looks a little crooked, so I'm going to peel it back off. Sorry, guys. So I'm not apologizing for being extra right now. This is where you want to get extra. You're going to have to stare at this for a long time because this craft will last you for years if you take care of it, just like anything else. Okay, you're just pressing it down. Listen, the edges are not super important right now. Just try and keep it overall from getting wrinkles, okay? The grooves are what's super important for the pumpkin right now. So normally when you do Mod Podge like this, it's on a really flat surface and you don't have to worry about grooves, like pressing it into these right here. I'm just literally pressing my fingers into it. Now it's gonna get wet, like y'all just gonna have to deal with that, okay? Okay, so getting it all laid down in there. This is not super important for the edges because we're gonna go over it again with another coat of Mod Podge because you just got it. But still make sure they're all pressed down and good and that there's no bubbles. We don't want bubbles. Bubbles will show up and be ugly. And then it will make it easier for it to get destroyed later down the line. And you want this to last for a long time because what's the point? Realistically, this craft will cost you less than $7. If you already have the napkins and already have the Mod Podge, which most people who are crafters do. If not, it's super cheap. You can get Mod Podge for like, I don't know, $3 to $5 for a whole tub and it'll last you the rest of your life if you keep it from drying up. And the napkins, you can find them at the dollar store or wherever. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about that. And so it's less than $7. But mine cost me just the cost of the pumpkin and then whatever I had left. Okay, so get it all on there. See how it's on there? Doesn't look bad. Okay, next, you could just use your Mod Podge and just paint over just the area that's on here, paying really close attention to the edges. But I didn't like how that looked, so I painted over the whole pumpkin because I wanted it all to have the same exact finish, so it didn't draw too much attention to just the design. So when it's finished, this is what the pumpkin looks like when it's all been, like the whole thing has a coat of Mod Podge on it. Not only will this help protect it and make it like easier to dust and everything, but the whole thing will have the same finish. It dries clear, so as you can see, there's not like weird streaks and stuff. You can't see any of that. This is just what it looks like when it's finished, okay? So what we're gonna do then is take our Mod Podge foam brush, and I'm literally just gonna go back over this with the foam brush. The foam brush is great because I can press it, because of the wedge on it, I can press it into the grooves here and it's not an issue. This is where it's super important to get the edges, okay? You get them nice and wet, and even like, I'm gonna find an edge. Okay, see how that edge is kind of, you can see how it's wrinkly, okay? You see how wrinkly that is? I'm gonna go over it with the Mod Podge here, like pretty liberal. And it's gonna get it wet and press it all down, and then I'm gonna show it to you, and you're gonna be like, it looks so much better. And I'm gonna be like, I know! And then go through the grooves too. This will help get the paper wet again, and just push it down in there. It's really good. Just painting over the whole thing. You're gonna be like, oh, it's getting it all wet. It's gross. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Happy little accidents. Okay, so now look. This dries and it will be smooth and you won't really see brush strokes, but I try to get the big gloppy sections off anyway, okay? Pressing down all the edges. Now, look over here at this side. Doesn't have those big gloppy edges anymore. See how they just went away? So much better. I'm just doing a coat now over the whole thing. Like I may go back and touch this up after I look at it in a minute, but right now I'm just going over the whole thing. Just get the edges really good and any wrinkly spots and all the grooves and go over all of it, because otherwise it'll be really easy for your pumpkin just for it to come off. Doesn't matter if you get the stem or not, like, I don't care. Okay, I think this looks done. Now, if you're in a groove of doing several of these, honestly guys, this would be a good craft to make and sell. Like they're super cute. I know craft fairs are a little weird this year because 2020, but normally, like these would even, like online, like you can sell these in your craft shop, in your Etsy shop, whatever. Like super easy to make, very durable, going to last, and they look super pretty when they're done. Like how gorgeous is that, right? Okay, a question has been asked of me, and I want to answer that so that you guys can hear it. Would this work on a real pumpkin? The answer is yes. It works just as well on a real pumpkin. The only thing that stinks about that is that it's going to rot a lot faster. So like I've put pumpkins on my porch before, like decorating, you know, like pumpkins or whatever. And as long as you don't carve into them, they'll last for a couple of months and it's not an issue, even if they're sitting in the sun. However, the sun, if they're sitting directly in the sun and this is out there, it will eventually start to crackle the front of this. The Mod Podge will help protect some of it, but it will make it crackle. So just keep that in mind, maybe like protect it a little bit or whatever, but like if it does get wet and stuff, like the Mod Podge again helps repel the water, but it's not going to completely keep all of it off there. So that's something good to keep in mind. You could definitely do this. It'd be super cute. White pumpkins with this would probably be easier. If you found like an orange background of a, an orange background of a napkin, that would totally work too. Green pumpkins, that would be super cute with green pumpkins. Just the ones with the big grooves would be harder, but yeah, just make sure it's clean. I know I said not to clean this one, but if it's an actual pumpkin that's been like in a field, you'd want to clean that off. Guys, that's literally it. That's all you have to do to make a napkin pumpkin. When it dries in about half an hour, this is what it's gonna look like. It takes like no time. So this is what it's gonna look like wet. Can you see? It's a little wrinkly right there. I'm gonna touch it again with the brush. Where did I point to? Right there. Yep. Just press it down with your little thingy deal. And it really, like, they turn out so well, and it's not hard. Like, this is not something that you need to be good at crafting to be able to do. You can tear a design out of a napkin and then press it onto something, it's gonna turn out cute, okay? Here's the one from the dollar store. This is the dollar store napkins. They have two different sizes. They had a small one and a larger one, and I got the larger one because it worked for this size pumpkin. If you wanted, you could just like take the thankful out and just put it on, or just put the little pumpkins on, but I thought it looked all cute together, so I just tore it out. Cream colored or white colored backgrounds work best for this color pumpkin. If you're gonna do orange, you need to get like yellow, red, or orange backgrounds, and then green pumpkins would be the same thing. Like any white would work on any of them, but it works best on like the green and the cream colored pumpkins. So just giving you a heads up. Walmart has plenty of these for like $5.98. Hobby Lobby was more expensive because theirs were like a higher quality. So if you're gonna go buy them, maybe either wait until they're on clearance. If you're wanting to sell these at like a craft fair, you can buy them on clearance when you can get a really good price on them and save them until next year to do them. Or you could just get the ones at Walmart for $5.98. You might be able to find them cheaper on Amazon. I did link to some that I found on Amazon that were a really cool white pumpkin set, but they were a little bit more expensive. I think it was like 5 of them for like 25 bucks, but not all of them were this size. So like one or two of them were real big, and then some of them were like medium, and then one was small. I also made, if you're interested in heavy outside decor that you can put outside that you can make yourself, I made DIY concrete pumpkins. And I know you're thinking to yourself like, oh my gosh, that's insane, like that's a big craft. It really is not difficult. It literally took like 20 minutes start to finish, and that was with reading the instructions that I didn't follow on the bag of concrete. So there is a link to that on my site as well. So go to downredbuddrive.com, and you can, it's just right there on the homepage. You can see, or you can search just concrete, and it'll pull up the concrete pumpkins. They're really easy to make. You just need pantyhose and concrete, and then I used some stuff for the stem and some moss to put on them. They turned out really cool, but you could paint them or make them big or small or whatever, and those aren't going anywhere on your front porch. But okay, that's it. That's all there is to making super cute napkin pumpkins. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching today. I hope you had fun, and I hope you make your own napkin pumpkins. If you do, please send me a message or an email and let me know that you did, or leave a comment here letting me know that you made them, because I would love to know if yours turned out and how adorable they are.